Aloha, and welcome back to the Senate segment of Live at the Legislature. Today, I'm joined by Senate Majority Leader J. Kalani English. Senator English represents District 7, which includes the areas of Hana, East and Upcountry Maui, Molokai, Lanai, and Kaho'olawe. Senator, thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Senator, you have one of the largest geographic districts and probably one of the most diverse districts in the state. How has COVID-19 impacted communities like Molokai, Hana, and Lanai?
Yes, it is so diverse and it's so large that we have to really have different approaches to different areas. So for Hana, if you remember in the very beginning, we actually asked the National Guard to shut down the Hana Highway on both sides to isolate Hana because we didn't know what coronavirus was. We didn't know how it was spread. And so for the first time ever, I think, we isolated East Maui. For Molokai and Lanai, we did essentially the same with air travel and boat travel. And then we went into things, we had to do things that were never done before. Food distributions, medicine distributions, even into plants and plants for food later on down the line. So we kind of went back to an ancient system of taking care of different districts and providing short-term relief, and then also planting and plants and things for long-term relief. And then we had another area, which is upcountry and Kula, more urbanized, more city-like, and so they were able to receive food, receive the same things, but in different ways. So very diverse approach.
I think one of the important things that you've worked on during this pandemic is to make sure that the rural areas of your district aren't forgotten. Oftentimes, when we see a lot of these relief efforts, they are focused in the large populated areas. But what you've done, with Molokai, with Hana, in providing masks, in providing food, was really critical to the well-being of your district. Why was it important for you to do that? We've seen early on that you were out there handing out potatoes. You were out there making sure folks got food, and in a modern day government, we don't really see our leaders out there. But you took the extra step. Can you talk about that briefly too?
Yeah, thank you for reminding me about the mask. I actually just forgot about it until you mentioned it. But we worked with community partners, right? And they brought in masks. So we did a distribution of 20,000 masks in East Maui. I think we did the same distribution on Molokai and Lanai and Upcountry. But for East Maui, I actually took the mask into Hana and then had it distributed to all the various communities. And then the remote communities then took it and distributed to the families and people living in their areas. So, areas like Lower Nahiku in Hana, Maua Village in Kaupo, Kahiki Nui, very, very remote areas, we made sure that they got these supplies. There were two reasons. The first was that we needed to get these out. They couldn't, afford them. They couldn't get them any other way. And then the other thing was to start getting people into the loop so that when we do the food distributions and we do other distributions, we had systems in place. It was a conscious choice for me to go out there and actually do it because people were scared and are scared. And I think they needed to see us doing things. And for me, because I live in Hana, that's my home. I'm from there. I will always return there. I'll be buried there when I pass. It's important for my people to see that, I'm out there and I'm helping and I'm arranging things, which then gave a bit of comfort to people that they actually went and did things. So we had huge cooperation from, let's say, the stores, right? Think about the stores having to shut down, and how did they survive, right? How did they continue? So, for example, we provided back-end support to Hana Store to help them get online, help them to move their inventory online so that people can look at what they have, order things, and then they pre-make the order and come outside and give it to them. We put the stores on Molokai and Lanai in touch with the stores in Hana so that they could talk about best practices. How do they do, serving people outside? How do they do food prep? How do they enforce mask wearing, gloves, sanitation, all of those things. So yeah, it was very, very difficult to organize, but we had good partners. And I think one of the main things that came out of this was that it is a partnership. I mean, government cannot do it alone. And we had a lot of private individuals and organizations that stepped forward, and that's what saved us all.
Yeah, one of the things that came out of this pandemic is what you're calling the East Maui Reservation Project. Can you talk about that? Because I think you are on the real cutting edge of something big.
So when we shut down the Hana Highway, well, let me back up. The Hana Highway, we can say on average at the full peak of tourism, we'd have maybe 10 to 14,000 cars a day going down that road. And it was congested and everything was, it was a bad experience for everybody, locals and tourists. With the shutdown of the Hana Highway, suddenly we had nobody coming down the road. Hana had a chance to heal. He literally healed. Forests grew back, oceans became stronger, fish came back. Our own local people started going to places that we haven't been to for years. I live between Hamoa Beach and Koki Beach, two of the best beaches on Maui. It is so crowded that I haven't been there for years. During this pandemic, I went to Koki, I went to Hamoa Beach, and it reminded me of what it was like when I was growing up as a kid. So our guys decided that, we liked this. We liked being able to enjoy our place. The place needed the time to heal, to regenerate. And through our Zoom meetings, the other thing we did was we set up Zoom meetings with our communities. So Representative Decoit and I, because we have such a huge district, we started doing Zoom meetings, which was very new for our communities, and asking our communities to join us. And so they did. We had Zoom meetings with 800 people on it, 600 people, with Molokai, with Lanai, with Hana, with Upcountry, with different areas. And in those meetings, a lot of the people would say, we don't want to go back to what it was. We don't want all these people coming in. We want more management. So we started creating the East Maui management system, a reservation system, to bring people online. It's mauiwayfinding.com. We're developing it. Wainapanapa State Park is the first segment of that, and they've actually gone online. So now you need a reservation to go to Wainapanapa State Park. There's also fees to go in, and we manage how people come and go there. That's going to be the bigger system on East Maui soon.
Thank you, Senator. And we are out of time. And thank you for joining us. And for those of you at home, we will see you next week on the Senate segment of Live at the Legislature. Mahalo.
What are you doing? We have to go. I'm gonna be late for work.
It's Tuesday morning. I gotta record live at the legislature on Alelo. Senate and House leadership discussing what's happening at the state capitol.
So just watch it on the news tonight. Come on, let's go.
Hey, this is like getting the news before it's news. If only I could get this remote to work.
There. Can we go now?
No DVR? No problem. Watch Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. on Channel 49.